Happy Wednesday, friends. I'm coming to you from the car because I am learning how to multitask. So the car / the office, depending on what activity I'm doing, is where it's at this week. I've got 3 trips into town and 3 trips back out to the homestead. So I'm making good use of my time in this car, whether it's reading or filling out paperwork or editing. I'm getting it done in the car. Anyway, so I just thought I'd stop in and share a little bit of wisdom with you. Actually, I'll put it out there and you see if it's wisdom or anything you need to glean. But the boys and I were commuting into school yesterday morning, and one of them asked about money and investment and what does that look like? How do you earn money on your money? What are the risks you take? And so we kind of developed that conversation, and I gave them the information and the knowledge I had, which is very limited. I'm nowhere near a financial advisor. I just know some of the basics, probably going back to my high school years of economics class. But anyway, so we talked about that and what that looked like. And sometimes, the money, you do get reward, and sometimes you lose money. And that had me thinking a couple things. One, I love and cherish my time on these commutes with the boys in the car because it's like open conversation. We just chat, we ask questions, we talk about things that are on our mind. Very rarely is it silent because I feel like I have a captive audience and these years are going to go by so quick. And so I like to pick their brains, and sometimes I get some communication back from them. So that had me thinking about investing into our lives and into our families. And one thing that I'm gonna step up on the soapbox, but I'm gonna say, you know what I think is falling apart? Our families. I think our families are falling apart. And I think that this is not just a American problem. I think it's worldwide. I think that we have given up on our families. We have decided that it is too hard, takes time, work, commitment, all that. And we've given up. And there is so much going on in the world right now that is proof of that statement. And I'm not asking anybody to, agree with me or see it my way. I'm just making that bold statement. And because of families not being valuable or important or priority anymore, we're seeing the fallout. We're seeing dysfunction and ick. And so why do I bring that up? Why do I stand out and boldly say that? Is because I think families are the one thing that the Creator intended for us to value, to invest in, to spend time in, to make it a priority, because that is community. That's the first community you get experience with when you are born into this big, beautiful world. And yeah, not all families are perfect, and not all families are functionable, and not all families are where it's at. But if you have been given a family, you have the obligation to make priority, to communicate, to live life with. I've just in the last couple weeks, I have had some people in my community that have talked about losing family members and that they would give anything to have them back to do life with. And so those of us who have our family and we're not making it a priority, shame on us. We need to sit down and have meals together around a table. And you say, I don't have time for that. I've got sports and I've got this meeting and I've got this. And then you've got to get rid of some of that. You do. You just got to get rid of it. And you got to make your family priority. There is so much that can happen around a table sharing a meal together. What about, like I said earlier, use the time in your commute, talk. Don't stick our heads in our phones. Don't turn on the music. Those aren't bad things. But what I'm saying is utilize the 10, 15 minutes you have together in the car with your captive audience and discuss things. Ask how each other is doing. This is important. And what we invest in, we will find reward. And what we nurture will grow. So I believe that this is time Now is time. So if you have a family and you're trying to figure out how does this going to look, maybe your schedule needs cleared. Maybe the kids are doing too many sports. I have a 14-year-old right now who is thinking through what that's going to look like. He wants to do sports, but he also doesn't want to be gone every single night of the week because his family is important and his health is important. And he knows, because he's been taught, that rest is holy and sacred. And so if your family is going 1,000,000 miles an hour and you're not having time for each other, then you need to stop and pause and get that figured out. Because again, what you nurture grows. You want a healthy family, you got to do something about it. Friends, this is obviously a pretty serious moment in these few moments here that I'm sharing with you, but I love you, and I know that it's worth fighting for. Believe me, we make Team Hamblin a priority. We schedule time to do life together. It's not always perfect, and it's not always fun, and it's not always easy, but we make it happen. And I think that that's going to speak to somebody watching and listening. And I'm praying that you hear this with an open heart, so that this will stir something in you to say, yeah, this Friday night, it's going to be family night. And it doesn't have to cost money. You don't have to go on a big trip. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time. Get a movie, have a meal together, play a board game. Make it about the family and make that time sacred and protect it with all you've got. I love you, friends, and I cherish your community with me, and I look forward to hearing how this is going to be, how this is going to look and play out in your lives. Know that you're loved and live like it. Bye, guys.